The Election Commission submitting the report of the November 20th election to the President yesterday has officially paved way for the formation of the new government and the appointment of the new Prime Minister. This will be followed by the appointment of individuals to a number of key constitutional positions, including the President, Vice President, Speaker, and Deputy Speaker. The scenario suggests that the national politics is headed for a busy and volatile month ahead. Good morning, I'm Abheudaya Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Parties engage in intense power-sharing tussle for government formation, all eyes on the post of the Prime Minister and the President. The country's economic situation yet to register desired improvement. The government yet to collect reimbursement amount worth 20 billion rupees from donor agencies. India successfully carries out night trials of the Agni-5 nuclear-capable ballistic missile amid heightened tensions with China, the missile capable of hitting targets beyond 5,400 kilometers. And the resignation tendered by national cricket coach Manoj Prabhakar approved, another setback for Nepal that is trying to save its one-day status. The Election Commission submitted the report of the November 20th elections to the President yesterday. The Parliament session must now be called within 30 days from the submission of the report, which will be followed by the appointment of a Prime Minister within 35 days. Likewise, a Speaker of the House must be nominated within 15 days of beginning of the Parliament session, chaired by the senior-most member of the Parliament. It has taken the Election Commission almost a month since the voting day on 20th of November. The Commission submitted the report to the Government and the Parliament Secretariat yesterday itself. Likewise, the report of provincial election will be submitted to the provincial chiefs today by the Commission officials. The names of all the elected members will now be published on the National Gazette. The Election Commission only yesterday had published the final results of the November 20th elections. 165 members under the direct category and 110 under the proportionate representation have been elected to the House of Representatives. Likewise, 330 members in the direct category of provincial assemblies and 220 PR members have been elected. As yesterday's development has paved way for the formation of the government, all the attention has now been diverted to power sharing. The ruling alliance has decided to rotate the position of the Prime Minister and a full 5-year term for the President and the Speaker. Likewise, there is also a massive pressure among the alliance regarding the position of the Chief Ministers in the 7 provinces. There is a constitutional provision for the selection of the Prime Minister within 35 days from the start of the Parliament session. All the focus of the ruling parties is on the formation of yet another alliance government, as the parties are concerned about the power sharing for the position of the President, Prime Minister, Speaker, Deputy Speaker and Chief Ministers. The President of the largest party in the Parliament, Nepali Congress, wants to assume the top executive post once again and is also trying to keep the position of the President. Nepali Congress is also bargaining on giving the position of the Prime Minister for the later term to CPN Maoist Center. Meanwhile, CPN Maoist Center Chairperson Pushpa Kamal Dahal is also a top aspirant for the position of the Prime Minister. The Maoist chief has formed the strategy of claiming the position of the Prime Minister first by sacrificing the President's post. The party wants to stake the claim for the post of the President in case the prime ministerial position is denied to them. CPN Maoist Center might eventually settle for the post of the Speaker and Vice President. Likewise, the other ruling partners, CPN Unified Socialist, which has received a setback in the November 20th elections, is seeking limited role at the center and provinces as per the public mandate. Likewise, Loktantrik Samajwadi Party and Rashtriya Jana Morcha, the 2 other parties in the ruling alliance, are also seeking their representation in the government. In the meantime, the option of a non-political figure bagging the post of the President and the Vice President has also not been ruled out. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces what should be done to conclude the new government formation process. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
संसदको सबैभन्दा ठुलो दल नेपाली कांग्रेस र नेपाल कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी एमाले मिलेर बनाउने हो भने दिगो पनि हुन्छ र छिटो पनि
साना दलहरुलाई लिएर सरकार अगाडि बढाउनु पर्छ
पाँचटा गठबन्धन मिलेर देशलाई निकास दिनुपर्छ जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ
सरकार बनाउन अब युवाहरुलाई अगाडि सार्नु पर्छ
एजेन्डा मिल्ने दलहरु मिलेर सरकार बनाउनु पर्छ
छिटोभन्दा छिटो सरकार गठनको प्रक्रिया अगाडि बढाउनु पर्दछ
पार्टीको उच्चतर नेतृत्वले बार्गेनिङ गर्न छोड्नु पर्यो
The country's economic situation has not improved despite valiant efforts from the government in recent time. The foreign investment scenario is also dismal. In the meantime, the government is yet to collect a reimbursement amount worth 20 billion rupees from donor companies. The government seeks grants and loans from donor agencies to fund development projects in case the state's revenue fails to cover current expenses. The state initially uses its own resources for such projects, but later the amount is reimbursed by the donor agencies. The reimbursement figure had amounted to 36.9 billion rupees at the end of the previous fiscal year. Even as 16 billion rupees were taken in the first quarter of the current fiscal year, over 20 billion rupees still remain to be reimbursed. According to the Financial Act and Procedures 2020, the project head should be able to request for an reimbursement at the end of every month, and the Ministry of Finance should publish a report every 3 months after monitoring it. However, neither the relevant project head nor the regulator has followed the customary procedures. According to the Comptroller General's office, 16 billion rupees have been received in the first 4 months of the current fiscal year. However, more than 2.16 billion rupees of the closed projects remain unutilized, which is no longer available. Not being able to spend the money given by the foreign donor agencies, coupled with the inability to complete the reimbursement procedure, is likely to affect the foreign investment scenario as well. The country's foreign currency reserve has been depleting for the past 2 years. The balance of payment is also facing a deficit. In the given scenario, analysts call the country's dismal efforts to collect reimbursement as unfortunate. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. Why is the trend of consuming medicines using internet information rather than consulting doctors increasing? Your options are A, lack of awareness, B, costly treatment, and C, misuse of technology. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. It's time now for the sports news.
Sports news.
Defending World Cup champions France have set a date for the title showdown with Lionel Messi-led Argentina. The football fervor, as it always does, has immersed the Nepali supporters this time as well. However, the presence of supporters in Nepal's public spaces with live screenings has been sparse this winter. We have a report.
Football, a sport which has grown on to become equivalent to a religion throughout the planet, brings its fans a fiesta every 4 years with the FIFA World Cup. Increasing number of screenings at public spaces, pubs, restaurants, lounges and bars have added enthusiasm among the ardent followers of what the legendary Pele termed the beautiful game.
Live music पनि हुन्छ plus World Cup देखेर हुन्छ good food, good ambience, everything to mix and match everything हुने भएकोले चाहिँ यहाँ चाहिँ World Cup हेर्न चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ अब एकदमै एउटा त्यो एकदमै राम्रो माहौलले गर्दाखेरि नै I watch here actually.
Every corner, every restaurant मा टिभी राखेको छ जुन चाहिँ लाइभ देखाइरहेको छ त्यसको कारणले अहिले अलिकति हामी जस्तो फुटबल लभरहरुलाई चाहिँ अलिकति धेरै नै उत्साह जागिरहेको जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई.
The FIFA World Cup switched from its regular warm summer window to winter cold to adjust with the temperature conditions of its host nation Qatar. The inauguration of the mega tournament also coincided with the November 20 provincial and parliamentary elections in Nepal. While the change in the World Cup calendar did not just have an impact on the schedules of the domestic football tournaments around the world, It also saw relatively low jersey sales and drop in footfalls in public football screening spaces in Nepal in comparison to the previous editions of the tournament.
यसपालि विन्टरमा भएको छ चिसो कारणले पनि तपाईको मान्छेको फ्लो कम भएको हो कि भन्ने लाग्छ वर्ल्ड कप जुन दिनदेखि सुरु भयो नि त्यो दिन तपाईको इलेक्सनको नेपालमा इलेक्सनको टाइम पनि पर्यो र अर्को नम्बरमा तपाईको अब यो वर्ल्ड कपको नतिजा चाहिँ अत्यन्तै फ्लक्चुएसन टाइपको आयो के तपाईको नतिजा कारणले पनि तपाईको जस्तो मान्छेको आफ्नो आफ्नो फेभरेट टिम हुन्छ नि त त्यो टिमहरु कति टिमहरु त राउन्ड अफ 16 मै आइपुगेन तपाईको ग्रुप स्टेजबाटै आउट भए त्यो आकारणले पनि कस्टमर तपाईको जुन ऑडियन्स छ नि यो फुटबलको यो तपाईको वर्ल्ड कपको दर्शकहरु त्यो कम भएको हो कि भन्ने लागेछ हामीलाई चाहिँ
However, those who are regularly watching the matches in public places as pubs and bars have a different experience to share. For them, watching football with a blend of music, food and drinks gives a whole another sporty kick. In a separate context, we asked some of the football fans regarding their pick to win the World Cup on Sunday's final at the Lusail Stadium.
यो चोटी चाहिँ मेसीले जित्यो भने उसको पनि चाहिँ एउटा फुटबलको इतिहासमा एउटा चाहिँ ठुलो नाम रहन्छ भन्ने कारणले अर्जेन्टिनाले दिजोस् भन्ने मेरो शुभकामना छ
मेरो टिमले जित्न सकेन आउट भइसक्यो अर्जेन्टिना पुगेछ फाइनलमा अब मेसीले वर्ल्ड कप जितोस्
फाइनलको लागि चाहिँ अर्जेन्टिना बिकज मेसी मलाई मन पर्छ सो होपफुली अब मेसीले चाहिँ के गर्छ एम्बापेहरुको अझ टाइम बाँकी नै छ मेरो विचारमा मेसी डिजर्भ्स इट
Just over the top of his head. So defending champions France have progressed one more time to the grand finale of the FIFA World Cup, as it is heartbreaks for the African nation Morocco, who were the first country from their continent to progress to the last four of the FIFA World Cup. There was not much presence of fans and supporters in different areas where screenings were done and even in the bars and pubs, but as the final grand finale is slated for an 8:45 p.m. kickoff on Sunday and Leo Messi's Argentina takes on defending champions France, a lot more presence of supporters is expected in the different venues where there is live screening. With Rajendra Morjan in camera, this is Pramadal for Kantipur News.
That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.